Welcome to a very special night of CV Tech Talk.
That's right.
This topic is very close to our hearts.
That's right.
And something that we are very passionate about. Right. The topic is organic ed tech. And
is that like a topic of a book that's coming out soon?
Yes, if you read the comment on the Facebook post, you would know, Adam, that's the pedagogical foundation for the upcoming book by Adacat.
That's right. That's us.
That's us. Called Organic Ed Tech Coaching. Mm-hmm. Lead with learning, never with tech.
That's right.
And in honor of that, we have a special wine that we are drinking tonight in honor of Organic Ed Tech.
From Fozzie Estate Winery.
Close to us.
Yep, on Highway 41, on the way up towards Yosemite. This one is a certified organic, using certified organic Syrah grapes.
That's right.
Very appropriate for tonight.
That is correct. That is correct. So that's that. And the first question says, introduce yourself and let us know, what is your favorite meal to cook? What's your favorite meal to cook? Brisket.
No.
Tri-tip.
No. That's a good question.
You wrote the question. You did not have an answer?
Well, I have a lot to. I like to cook. I don't know if I can narrow it down.
Let's see.
I should probably make this my priority.
Oh, yes. Let's do that.
Dylan will suck up the bandwidth. So, give me a second there.
All right. So, yeah. Favorite meal to cook.
What's your favorite meal to cook, babe?
I don't know.
How does it kill me right
now? I like to make my cinnamon French toast. That's good. But that's not really a meal. I mean, it is a meal, but it's a breakfast.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay. So if this first question is, what is your favorite meal to cook? But how would you argue that has to do with organic ed tech?
I
have an answer.
Well, if you have an answer, because I didn't have a correlation when I wrote the question.
Oh, you didn't have a correlation?
No.
So if you're asking people what their favorite meal to cook is, we all have to eat.
Yeah.
Okay. So like kids, we all have as teachers, we all have certain things that we want our students to learn. But does it all have to be exactly the same? Do we have to cook exactly the same thing?
No.
No.
Of course not.
No, because everyone has different personal tastes. Everyone has different strengths. So just as we all have different favorite meals to cook, we may all have different favorite ed tech strategies that we use in our classrooms, and that's okay. So I think that it does relate, even though you weren't planning on it relating.
Yeah.
Well,
of course.
So yeah.
We make it relate somehow, some way.
That's right. So it's February. Are you tired?
Always.
Yeah. Thought I would not be quite so tired at this time of year, but that's all right. Still good stuff. Still a good day. Yeah, go ahead.
All-time meal to cook would be my Mexican spaghetti. The twist is you add tapatio sauce to the sauce, to the tomato sauce.
Okay.
And then instead of Parmesan, you use queso fresco. That's always come out pretty well.
And that's something you, I think, kind of developed on your own. Is that correct?
I developed that in college because we love spaghetti. We got a lot of money, so.
And so, I would argue that you developing that meal on your own, perhaps that it was an organic approach to cooking.
For sure.
And it's something that you still enjoy. So, in the classroom, we want to use technology in an organic way as well.
And then we even added orange sauce to the mix once I discovered orange sauce. So it's another one.
Absolutely. That is very true.
Yep.
All right. Well, question 5, or question 1, I mean.
Kim.
Is Kim on?
Kim Calderon from Fresno just jumped on.
It doesn't show on mine.
She thinks her favorite is spaghetti carbonara.
Nice.
That's always a good one.
Very good. Very good. Always good to see Kim.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. Yeah, see the doors there.
All right.
I'll see her tomorrow night.
That's right.
The CVQ board meeting. Unless she's probably off at one of those Florida, Texas, whatever conferences.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't remember if she said this was the time when she was going to
She
be
went
gone.
to
Or...
Florida. I know that.
Cool. Have you ever been to Florida? I've been once.
Oh man, that's a good wine.
It's a very good wine.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's made with certified organic grapes.
Yep.
We are drinking that in order of
In
our
honor-
topic.
In honor of, not order of.
That's what I meant. I'm tired.
You're tired. It's a long day.
I am. It was a very long day. I worked in Porterville today, so it was about an hour and a half away.
Mhm.
So and I got there. When did I leave the house? Before you did. Before 7. Great day. I was like nonstop coaching, which is great. In classrooms all day long, no breaks. Then debriefing with teacher leaders and admin afterwards. So I didn't leave there till I think like 4:30.
Well, Kim Bogey from Southern California just
Yes.
jumped on, and she says that
Oh,
she loves making all the side dishes for Christmas, just like Grandma.
I love that.
Yep.
That's good stuff.
Kim Bogey for joining in on Twitter.
Yeah,
So
cool.
question 1 just dropped, and it says
Perfect.
organic ed tech leads with learning, never with tech. Lesson design begins with learning goals and targets before the tech. With this, sometimes little or no tech is involved. What is a lesson that you've done that meets learning goal with little to no tech?
Sketch notes?
So that was probably what's gonna. How do you read my mind?
Little to no tech. Yeah, definitely sketch notes. I like to blend and add tech though. To document the learning, even if it's a teacher with a cell phone or kids with cell phones, actually.
Kids should have cell
document,
phones in class.
documenting what they're
If
learning.
you know how to use them. If you
Correct.
don't, you probably shouldn't be using them.
Well, that's
But
just,
your teacher should have autonomy
Mhm.
to use cell phones in the classroom. It should not
Mhm.
be a broad ban on all of them. Even the teachers who don't know what they're doing can't use them.
what happens when you ban things, you demonize them.
That's right.
And then there's a stigma. And so guess what? You have this, you have students that want to use it just because it is banned. Because there's like this appeal of something that is forbidden. It's quite absurd if you ask me.
Yep.
But I digress. So little to no tech.
I mean, so I did this.
Oh, I got one. Yeah, go ahead.
Paper and pencil sketch notes my go-to, but I do probably more off either on concert with those or just as a quick CFU or is a speed sketch note. The speed sketch note is actually infused into my version of Fast and Curious. So once they get some reps with those, it's a different way of throwing some different reps with the vocabulary after they've kind of gone over it using quizzes. Then you have those same terms. They have to speed sketch those with the partner. They have to sketch it out on a whiteboard, and then the other partner has to tell the other partner what to draw. And then they have to check with the teacher and get feedback to make sure that they've done it right. They've included, the those kind of things, what needs to be done in order to graphically represent that topic. And then we just keep on going through the set of words. So it's the speed sketch notes is probably my biggest go-to right now. So Kim Vogey from SoCal says sketch notes for sure.
Mhm.
Game of quotes.
Huh.
That sounds kind of cool. I never
That
heard
sounds
one.
cool.
I'd like to have her tell us more about that. Learning 360, lots of post-it notes.
Nice. Agreed. I love to have my kinder and first grade students make books. And literally all I would do, this is how much prep it took. Are you ready?
Okay.
Are you ready? They're going to write a book. They're at the writing center. They're going to write a book. This is how much prep it was. I would take a piece of paper. I would fold it in half, and I would put a whole bunch of pieces of paper folded in half on the table. Does that sound like a lot of prep?
Not really.
Lots of prep. How much time at the copier? 0 seconds. All it took was folding pieces of paper. And actually, as they got older, they just folded it themselves. So the front page would be the covers, and so they're learning about concepts of print, meaning they have to learn about like the cover of a book, like this is a standard, right? So on the cover, they put the title and the author. The title is whatever they want the book to be about. Their name as the author. Open it. They are also learning sequence, beginning, middle, end of a story, right?
Yeah.
So they draw a beginning, write as much as they can, draw the middle, turn it over, draw the end. Done. Boom. My kids were writing books every single week.
Nice.
Done.
Kim Calderon from Fresno says science can be enhanced by tech, but it's awesome without it. Some of my favorite hands-on lessons are bottle rockets, astronauts, and unplugged coding. I threw another one in there for that question. I forgot to put Crazy Eights.
Yes.
Well, that Innovator Academy for Google, and
absolutely.
This is Google, the biggest tech company in the world, but they're having us, ideate and kind of brainstorm these abstract concepts and ideas using paper and pencil.
Absolutely.
And what was the thing that kind of blew you away the most when you saw so much of you didn't expect when you went to Google in Toronto?
Paper.
Yeah.
And before I went to Google, I had colleagues that would make fun of me because we'd be at a meeting, and what would they do? They'd hand out a packet of paper. Or, people, so they'd always make fun of me because they'd be like, paper? Because I'd always say, do you have a digital copy? And so it was funny when I went to, it almost became a joke that went a little too far about paper.
I get a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah.
I'm blended.
Right.
I might use, I don't use a ton of paper, but I use whiteboard, so I don't want to waste paper because what's the point of wasting all that
whiteboards
paper?
are better, yeah,
Whiteboards are way
for
better.
sure. Yeah, love those whiteboards. Absolutely.
I know Kim Vogie talked about her love for sticky notes.
I love sticky
have
notes.
discovered, maybe you've seen, I saw it on Facebook.
Slicky notes.
Sticky notes.
Yes.
Which are reusable. They're like little sticky note pads.
Yeah.
And they're reusable. You can use the dry erase, and then you can move them on any surface. It can be any surface. Like you just your regular wall. Put them up there, and they just cling to the wall.
Ed needs those for Scrum.
Around. Yeah, they're definitely, we need that for our Edu Scrum. So Ed Campos, I know you're in town. I know you're in the Valley in 559. So if you're watching, I know I tweeted at you, so you better join in, big dog. I'm going to bring those tomorrow to the CDC board meeting because it'll make our Edu Scrum a lot better.
Nice.
So question 2 just dropped.
Oh.
And it says, for EdTech to be integrated organically, learning experiences are designed with the 4 C's. With this, the tech will take care of itself. I wonder who said that. Where did I get that from?
I think that was me.
That's right.
Off the cuff in a session.
That's right. Our best crap comes just like out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, with this, the tech will take care of itself. Share a lesson that incorporates some or all of the 4 C's. Remember, plan with the 4 C's in mind, the tech takes care of itself.
Okay.
So what are you thinking of, babe? What's something you've...
So I'm thinking of an iteration I made this year where students listen to text being read to them by the teacher and they sketch. Okay. So they sketch because this is a listening activity because we're working with a lot of English learners. And so the goal was that they needed to, for ELD, practice their listening, speaking, reading, writing in that order. Okay. So they're listening and they're sketching. So they're being creative. So there's that first C. And then they, so after they sketch, they, in a collaborative Google slide deck, they take a picture of their sketch and then they type an explanation of their sketch. And so now I'm communicating and then we're collaborating because it's on a collaborative slide deck and we have to give comments to our peers. So you've got, and you're critical thinking because you have to compare and contrast your sketch with that of your peers.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So that's the answer that I have. I think I wrote about it in a blog, but it's actually in the Organic EdTech Coaching book as an example of a remix strategy based on context developed organically.
Yeah, so for pretty much my go-to for this would be pretty much the way that I deliver instructions called hashtag sketch notes. So what I do, I pretty much plan out my lessons, for a whole week. And for the block day, which is a 90-minute block. What's up, Judy Blakely? Judy Blakely's on right now.
Yay!
On a block day, I will break up. I set it up first doing, Fast and Curious. I hit them with the vocab. They have my ELs. They're all ELs, and they need. I hit them hard with the vocab with Fast and Curious, and then we jump into that block day with the content. So on a Google site, I kind of divide up the 8 to 10 vocab terms into 3 sections. There's 3 separate pages on a Google site, which has text, that's for the standard and incorporates all the vocab words. It has I'll throw in some YouTube videos, I throw in some images, and the kids need to sketch note each page of the site, and they do it collaboratively. So before they read collaboratively, they have to elicit teacher feedback, and to do so, they have to kind of iterate, kind of rough draft their sketch note on the whiteboard first, and they have to ask me questions and have me check it before they can actually copy it down on their actual paper sketch note, which they're going to turn in a week later. That's color coded and traced and looks real nice, but they can also use on their assessment. So they're collaborating, they're definitely communicating, especially with the teacher to student feedback part. They're definitely doing the creativity part, and the critical thinking really comes in when they are trying to visually represent some of these real difficult words, especially for them who are English learners. So I mean, it's dripping with the force of using. I had a pretty big win with that today, so I added a few pieces. With the hashtag part that's the reflection piece that comes later. They have to reflect on the 3 pages of sketch notes on what does this remind you of. So I kind of do a promo video on the homepage of the site, about 3-4 minutes at the most, and I kind of go over what each topic is, and I tell them what it reminds me of. So for I'm making one right now on a lesson on United States entering World War I.
This was
funny. And how we got badgered pretty much, by the Allies and the Central Powers to join in the war on either side. And it reminded me of our dog. So I told them, all right, for this page here, for me, this is hashtag annoying dog. Our dog's annoying. It will badger at you at the door, constantly scratch until we finally let her in. So that reminds me of our dog, how the U.S. kind of got almost like annoyed into joining the war. And when originally they didn't want to. So they have to think of something from their life similar that reminds them of what they just read, of what that topic is. Because every kid has a unique life experience that we can draw upon. And when you have something like history that most kids think is boring, we can make them see themselves in what they study. They're more likely to enjoy it and definitely learn it. So that's hashtag learning, hashtag sketch notes in a nutshell. So Kim Vogie's double dipping tonight. She's on Facebook Live and here on the Twitters. And for question 2, she says, I'm all about edu protocols. I never saw that coming. Random emoji power paragraph. That's for creativity, critical thinking. Yes, that's definitely one. My students definitely enjoy that when we pull out that protocol. So thanks, Kim Logie, for double dipping tonight. Oh, we have Irby Delgado from Arizona. And going back to question 1, he says, summer of 1973, Mr. McHugh's U.S. history class at Colton High, learning how unions came about, he had to simulate a connected dots assembly line. Over the time, the boss made it work faster to increase profit. Workers were let go. Doing is learning.
That is great.
Let's go back to question 1. So yes, Irby Delgado joining in. Yeah, we see Irby once in a while at 2 events.
Yep.
Yeah, he's been traveling a lot. So
oh yeah.
We see Irby. Yeah.
Okay.
He's been traveling a lot. He's been hitting up a lot of the conferences in SoCal. So they've had quite a few lately.
Have they?
Yeah, you had OCQ. I believe it was
IAQ
Coachella
was IAQ during Tech Rodeo.
Yeah, Coachella Q, and they did that OCQ.
Yeah.
And then CapQ, RGM is this weekend, which we can't go to. That has a
yeah, but it's normally a different time of year.
Yeah, it's usually the fall for us. All right, so Kim Logie, she's fighting the cold, so she gets better. All right, question 3 just dropped, and it says, organic EdTech integration is often born from feedback from walking EdTech coaches who observe and give feedback to teachers in their natural habitat.
That sounds like something that's going to be in our book.
That's right. That's probably right. Maybe I got an advanced copy. You never know. Let's see. So what is some feedback you've given or been given by an EdTech coach in your natural habitat?
I have a question.
Yes. What
if someone reads this question, they have not had the benefit of having a walking EdTech coach?
Well, they can ask us. We can clarify, or we can give them some advice. That's kind of what we do. Just saying.
All right, so
going back to question 2, Kim Calderon from Fresno says,
yes,
Astronaut project has students working on creating a landing vehicle for an astronaut landing on Mars. They post a video on Flipgrid describing their lander and then giving her feedback, which they use to alter their lander before testing.
That is awesome.
Reading that right there gave me an idea.
Okay.
So I think it can be applied to anything.
This is an organic idea.
That's
right here.
Yeah,
Organic idea.
Yep. So I'm reading her about, they posted a video Flipgrid describing their lander. I'm like, how do we do like a remote kind of like Pictionary where
interesting.
Like the if you ever seen the movie Inglourious Basterds, they play that drinking game where they have to put a card in their head,
right,
and they have to kind of be you have to look at it and describe it without saying it. So what if you describe something without saying it on Flipgrid, and then all the kids can see each other and they have to respond to it and try to figure out.
And it could be like a historical figure or event, or it could be like.
I'm gonna do that. I'm sure someone's
done
that.
It's a good idea.
That just popped in my head. Thank you.
That's good.
Kim Calderon for. Howard Kuhn from the Bay Area just jumped on.
Nice.
He says, for my Doing Good lesson, we built a communication board and Android app on AI2. Students designed talking icons for nonverbal classmates. They expand to use other uses from there.
Oh my gosh,
That's
superstar.
Awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome. Howard Kuhn from
that
the Bay
is
Area.
Truly kids like.
Yep.
Those kids are making a difference.
Oh yeah, big time.
Like that is the ultimate design thinking activity right there.
So question 3 is, what's some feedback you've given or been given by an EdTech coach in your natural habitat? Let's see. So what would I say for that one? Let's see. I've given a lot of feedback recently.
Yeah, I have as well. Sometimes it's small things.
Yes.
For example, with Flipgrid, the most recent feedback I've given is to tell teachers to give kids a time limit, because otherwise they keep deleting their videos. They're never happy with it. And then the ones that have finished get off task. So I know that's a real simple one, but I think pacing is really important because it keeps kids on task. If you listen to the great John Carippo,
who's that?
He talks about how this is what happens if you give kids 15 minutes to do something.
Oh, yeah.
For 12 minutes, they sit around, they talk, they bullshit, and then they look at the clock and they go, "Oh, we got 3 minutes left. Okay, let's do this," and they finish it.
Yep.
So give kids less time, and they will learn to work more efficiently. Now, I didn't say work faster. I said work more efficiently. So there is a big difference. I'm not a big fan of like timed math facts, things like that, but I do believe that it's important to pace accordingly. So we have Kim Vogie has responded on here. She says they don't have an ed tech coach anymore. She was only one for 7 years. So as far as self-reflection, she felt her math instruction was sucking.
Okay.
I think that's a little harsh.
Okay.
To say that your instruction is sucking. Kim,
we're always our own worst.
You're your worst enemy, and I guarantee.
Worst critic.
Critic. Yes. Thank you. I think that it probably was a lot better than you realized, but I commend you for being self-reflective. Yep. So anyway, she said her math coach helped set some routines, both tech and non-tech. I love that because it's important to get someone else's ideas and someone else's opinion. So that's awesome. Yes. Oh yeah, Kim as well. Setting that timer, it's huge, right? So important. Agreed. Love setting the timers. I think that's something I found with young or newer teachers, those that are newer to the profession. What I think is the most that can help them the most is that pacing. And I know that as a young teacher, I did the same thing where I remember giving kids more time because I felt bad. I'd be like, oh, well, they didn't finish. I should give them more time. Oh, and they'd come up to me, oh, Miss Goya, we didn't finish. Can we have another minute? Can we have another minute? And before you know it, it's like what was supposed to last 20 minutes has been an hour. And so I had a coach tell me, you cut them off. I said, yeah, but they haven't finished. He said, that's okay. You tell them it's all right. You didn't finish. Ooh. You'll work more efficiently next time. And sure enough, guess what happened? They learned to work harder.
Well, we just got joined by a new country.
Oh, which one now?
Hey, not too far from our friend Noah Lahab.
Okay.
We have Georgina Dean. She says, "Good morning from Amman, Jordan."
Oh,
Georgina works as a
cool.
director of learning technology for a nonprofit K-12 international school. She says, "I'm not a good cook, sadly, but I can toss up a delicious salad."
There you go.
All right, thank you. Wow, that's cool. We got from the Middle East, man. That's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
That's what this is all about.
That's right.
Recently, I was in the last couple of weeks. I've been on a English language arts class walkabout. Just being a fly on the wall, observing, just learning and leaving feedback from what I see, and that's led to so many organic conversations with teachers and coaching opportunities. And I recently saw a lesson on Kill Mockingbird where the kids were tasked with identifying textual evidence of segregation.
Okay.
So they were pretty much doing very traditional with paper and pencil, and they were writing things like in the graphic organizer and random selection, so a little bit of whole class reading. So I just suggest you could accomplish this where every kid answers every time with thin slides and book snaps.
Right.
And they accomplish all of this in a much more engaging fashion. So we're going to actually be working on developing the next time that they're going to be doing this type of a lesson, maybe later on in the novel, using one of these. So that was pretty cool.
So what I like about that is that entire story focuses on the learning, though, not on the tech.
Mm-hmm.
So it was organically designed based on the learning goals. You didn't go in and say, hey, we should do thin slides. You saw what the learning goal was, and according to that context, suggest something. And that's what organic ed tech coaching is all
And a
about.
few weeks ago, also, I was working with this teacher's like, we just finished our lesson on Islam. The kids learned about the 5 pillars of Islam. I want to do like a culminating project, but I don't know what to do. I want the kids to. I don't want to make them write an essay about it. That's boring. And I agree.
This is in what class?
This is 7th grade history.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So-
They don't need to be
so
writing
I
essays all the
suggested,
time.
all right, well, let's do some playtime videos.
Oh, this has been fun to see on
Yes,
Facebook
the kids
and
have
Twitter,
to-
whatever.
I brought out a big old giant box of Legos, Army Men toys, all these different toys and stuff. And they go, all right, you have your notes on the 5 pillars of Islam. You have to create a video that demonstrates each pillar. And these kids were a little overboard. I showed them, like, you guys can do this in like 2 minutes, just explaining it. But I loved how the one that took the longest is the pillar called the Hajj, which is the only thing about Islam. The Hajj is the pilgrimage. A Muslim is, according to this, is supposed to visit the holy city of Mecca at least one time in their life and visit all the holy sites in Mecca. And a lot of people save up for their whole life to do it. So the kids were, and I said, it's so important to them that they will go to great lengths and pains to get there. So these kids came up with these real kind of almost convoluted stories about how they struggled to travel to get there, but when they got there, like, hey, nothing was going to stop us from getting there. This is important to our faith, and they do it with little toys and figurines and stuff. And this one kid had, our plane crashed in the desert, but then we saw a camel, and we took the camel, but then the camel died, and then we saw someone with a horse-drawn carriage, and we got on them, and it was hilarious. But they captured the idea, presented in each pillar of Islam pretty well. I think one of my favorite ones was they were talking about fasting during the holy month of Ramadan, and they did like it's early in the morning, it's still dark, and we need to eat out because once the sun comes out, we're not allowed to eat. And then they start them working, doing their work through the day. I wish I could eat, but I can't. It's the holy month of Ramadan. We can't eat till the sun goes down. That's the law. And then they showed that they did it like in a dark room. It's nighttime. Now it's time to eat. So I thought it was, all with toys, but they're never going to forget that. They could write an essay about it. I doubt they would remember that essay.
Right. And so it's true. The research shows that if you, and this is not just with students, this is with anyone, for something to be memorable, you need to create, an experience that evokes like emotion. So if kids are enjoying the experience of learning, they're more likely to remember it. It's going to be memorable. That learning's going to be sticky, right? So the fact that you're allowing them to make these, as you call them, playtime videos, right? And they're actually enjoying what they're doing, and they're creating something, and they're making a video and all this. They're working together. then they're going to definitely remember that content so much, that learning so much better than if they wrote an
I
essay.
mean, these kids were wanting us to stay late hours after school
Right.
to work. I go, all right, I'll open the room up. You guys can come out and
Yeah.
continue working. They get mad if I tell them I got to go pick up my kids. Sorry, I can't stay longer. Wish I could.
And this
so
is,
some of them were like, well, I'm still not done. Today was when it was due. I'm like, well, I mean, that's up to your teacher. That's up to her if she wants to accept your work late. She's like, I don't care. I'm going to finish anyways. Like that's
oh,
powerful.
wow. They don't care about the grade.
They just wanted to finish the project. The first group that actually finished today, they sent me their files and we worked together on iMovie, put it all together. And at first they were all scared. I go, I'll make your teacher give you extra credit. You put it on YouTube. Okay, all right, let's do it. And then we streamed it on the Chromecast, and they got to see it on the big screen. They thought it was like the coolest thing they'd ever seen before.
Yeah.
So question 4 has dropped, and it says, let's flex our organic EdTech integration muscles with this scenario. A teacher has a learning goal for students to cite textual evidence for a theme or claim and want students to rationalize evidence. What are your ideas?
Now, Kim Vogie gave a whole bunch of ideas. She said kids could cite evidence in Book of Kucha, Learning 360. Those are both EduProtocols. So if you're not familiar with those, check out eduprotocols.com. Flipgrid, which is a video discussion platform. Google Drawing, and with Google Drawings with speech and thought bubbles. Nice. Very nice. I don't see question 4 on my tweet deck here, which is dumb. But I would say my first thought is Book Snaps.
Yep.
Book Snaps is an awesome way for kids to cite evidence. And so, that's my first thought. But really, there's a lot of different ways you could do this. I mean, kids could make videos. They could make infographics. They could do a lot of non-tech. They could do a role play, but then like some kid could run underneath them, like with the citation of the textual evidence. Like there's all sorts of stuff that kids could do. So I think the point is, it's really, this is where the teachers get to be organically creating based on their strengths too, right? And honestly, it's about the kids too. The kids often have a lot to do. I was talking to a teacher today, and this teacher said, I showed the teacher Flipgrid. He says, I'm not that good at tech, and I don't feel very comfortable with it. Okay. Good teacher. He's a great teacher, and he says, I'm just old school. I know I probably should do more technology integration, but I'm just old school. And I said, I get that. Like what you're doing is working really well, and so it's scary and seems unnecessary to do something new. And so I understand that. I said one way, and I showed him Flipgrid, and he loved it. Loved it. The kids loved it. So he's going to do it again, which is great.
Who doesn't love Flipgrid?
Right. But what I suggested to him was, one of the best ways for someone like you to start integrating tech is to allow the kids to come up with the ideas. So you say, hey guys, you need to show me what you know about X, and here's my academic, guidelines of what you need to teach me. I don't care how you do it. And so I said, a lot of these kids, they have YouTube channels. They know how to make videos. They might make a video. They might be really good artists, and they're just going to like sketch something, and they're going to like write out some textual evidence or whatever. But if you let the kids lead, then you don't even have to know as much. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what do you think, Adam?
Pretty much I put, I would start with Book Snaps.
Yes.
But before the Book Snaps, you start with Thin Slides. So let's say you have.
That's a good idea.
So you have in this novel. There's these 4 themes that are recurrent throughout that novel. Okay, so let's choose one theme. Boom, we're gonna thin slide it.
Mm-hmm.
Then do the John Cripple car wash, and then boom, here's the next one. Let's do that.
The John Cripple car wash.
You ever heard that one?
No.
You ever heard of the John Cripple car wash?
What is this?
Oh, it's when they're done with thin slides, he plays a car wash song, and they have to clean out their slide. So that slide that can be reused over and over.
But I don't understand why you would want to delete the evidence of learning. Like, why wouldn't you just make a new slide deck?
I don't know. It's if I want to just do it real quick over and over. I'm not doing it for like keeping it for evidence. It's just to get their creative uses flowing and it's more of a brainstorming thing. It's not a.
But like in Google Classroom, you can just assign the same blank slide deck again and again, the template.
Yeah, but we're not doing that. We're just
That's an interesting. I like the music part though.
One time.
That part's cool.
Now we're gonna do it again.
Like speed thin slide. So you're saying you're gonna do it once, then you're gonna do it again, you're gonna do it again?
It's kind of hard, like speed regardless.
Yeah. That's interesting. I know. No, I've not heard of this.
Yeah, and then you just do that until you hit them all. Okay, now we've kind of brainstormed it all.
Yep.
I always tell kids who are thin slides, have a sticky note out. I want you to write down the ones the ideas that you repeat the most.
Yeah.
I have them
probably
kind of like do that as secretaries for themselves and help some kind of. So then you jump with the book snaps and they have some ideas that they can look for. So I think it sets the table pretty well. Flipgrid and screencasting are always some great ways just for that.
Mm-hmm.
I think speed sketchnoting would be a no-tech way for it.
You know what I love about thin slides?
Yes.
Because I had done, I've done collaborative slide decks for a long time. But what I really like about the way Caripo does thin slides and wrote about it in Edge Protocols is the fact that the kids have to present and talk about their slide for 5 to 7 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I had never done and had never even thought of. And it's a game changer because it starts to get kids talking, especially for our EL. So I really like that part about.
Well, it's not scary.
Right.
It's not scary.
5 to 7 seconds.
Kids are. I always preface thin slides when I first introduce. I go, listen. I tell them a story. I tell them about Hillary Clinton. I go, Hillary Clinton gives a speech for 1 hour. Do you know what she does when she's done? She cashes a check for $250,000. The point is, if you can learn how to speak in public, I tell them you can make bank.
There you go.
All of a sudden, all their ears kind of perk up. I go, you're not ready for that yet, but baby steps.
We're gonna start with 5 seconds.
Okay, a lot of times people just want, these kids today, they have no public speaking skills. They're afraid. What's wrong with them? Well,
they can't even look
because you just throw them into the fire the first time. Some kids are good at it. Most aren't. Most are afraid of it. It's a natural human fear. It's very common.
Yeah.
Public speaking. So if we can, you baby steps. Start with a thin slide. Then you move up to an iron shuffle, which is a little bit more. And then you move into to longer ones. Then you can eventually get them speaking in front of groups. And so, but you got to kind of have to put it in perspective for them.
Yeah.
You can't just throw them in there and expect them to, why won't they do it? I did it back in my day.
Back in my day.
I sound like Dylan.
Back in my day, we didn't even have Chromebooks. There was no Google. It had not been invented. My teachers told me, I used to ask them, because you know how I was. I would ask them why we had to learn something. God forbid, ask why you have to learn something. By the way, UDL, neuroscience of UDL now tells us that's very important for kids to make sure that the learning's relevant. Anyway, so I would say, why do I have to learn my math facts? And you know what they'd say? Well, Catherine, that's a great question. The reason you have to learn your math facts is because you won't have a calculator with you all the time. Hello. I have a calculator with me all the time, and I even have a watch that has a calculator on it.
Yep.
Boom! I even have an encyclopedia. Just saying.
I have a Google Home in every
Just
room in the
saying.
house. I can just ask Google anything I want.
Correct. So obviously those teachers were saying what they believed was best. I understand that, but I'm just saying that for us to judge what our students are going to need in 30 years when we don't know what the future holds. I had an interesting conversation about typing today. Did you know that there is a district in a county that we know of that requires their high school students to pass a typing test, like to have a certain words per minute typing speed, or they are forced to take a computer skills test. They have to do that. They have to make some slides, 4 slides, whatever. But a typing test. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that in 10 years, people are going to have to be typing, or are they going? Is or text to speech going to be so good they don't even need it anymore? Will that at least be an option? Will at least be an option?
Yeah, I think it would be an option.
It will be an option.
Typing is never going to go away, but it's not something that you need a dedicated class for anymore.
That's what they're doing.
That's
what they're doing. That's
using the device, productively daily.
Yes.
Pick it up. I never took a typing class. I learned the home row, and then I just practice, and now I can type.
Here's what irritated me. These kids, I saw these kids today taking this test, and they were so stressed. The kids that I've seen, they type every day. They're fine. They're doing great. Okay? They were so stressed that they were all slowing down and messing up and all this. And their teacher was like, guys, It's okay. Calm down. It's going to be all right. You're good typists. Not that I really believe in this anyway, but it's just what we have to do. You're all going to be fine. So anyway, that's that. Well, it is 7:40. So that means that our time is just about up. But before we end, can you remind everyone, if there's anyone that's on that wasn't on before,
Okay.
can you show everyone what our wine we were drinking tonight in case anybody's interested in getting some organic certified grapes
Yes.
that have been made into
Before I
wine?
do that, I want to
Yes.
bring attention back to Georgina Dean joining us from Jordan. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
That we have someone from the Middle East joining us tonight. So she was talking about some question 3 about some feedback that she received, and so she gave two examples, and one of them I really like. She goes, "Students were really engaged during this part of the lesson. How can we keep the hashtag candle of curiosity extended for the length of the lesson?" So that's some pretty intense feedback right there.
Wow.
They were engaged for this part, but not the entire part. So that's just check your ego at the door and kind of rethink and kind of tweak your lesson design there. That's a pretty powerful statement there.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I guess that had a huge impact on her. So back to the wine.
Yes.
We were drinking the Fozzie Estate 2016 Syrah, which
From
is
Madera County.
from Madera County here in California.
Mhm.
Okay, ingredients: certified organic grapes, Syrah grapes. So it was very apropos for tonight's chat.
That's right.
All right, well, that's about it.
Okay. Signing off.
It's another week done and dusted.
Till next week. Have a great one, everyone.
Rest in peace, Mamba.